Her fingertips were raw, bleeding in spots. The skin around her nails was cracked. I took photos immediately, making sure to capture the timestamp. There's something else, Dad. Her voice cracked. Mom's been taking the $200 you give me every month for lunch money. She says since I eat their food, the money should go toward groceries. I've been eating granola bars I steal from the school vending machine for the past 5 months. I felt sick. How long has this been going on? Since she got pregnant. About 5 months now. I grabbed my laptop. We're documenting everything right now. For the next 2 hours. My daughter told me things that made me want to drive to my ex's house immediately. She'd been waking up at 5:30 a.m. every day to pack lunches for all 3 of her stepbrothers, ages 8, 10, and 12, after school. She'd come home to a sink full of dishes and a list of chores taped to the counter written in her mother's handwriting. Vacuum the entire 2,400 square foot house. Do 3 loads of laundry. Make dinner for 6 people. Clean the kitchen. Fold everyone's clothes. Scrub both bathrooms. Her stepdad would sit on the couch watching TV while she worked. He never said thank you. Never offered to help. What about your homework? I asked. I do it between 10 p.m. and midnight. Sometimes later if there's extra cleaning. Your grades? She looked down. I got a C on my history test last week. First C I've ever gotten. Mom said if I can't handle school and chores, maybe I should just focus on being useful around the house. I called my lawyer at 11 p.m. M left a voicemail asking for an emergency custody hearing. The next morning, my ex showed up at my door at 7 a.m. Her face was red, mascara smudged. You can't just keep her here. Watch me. I'll call the police. You're violating our custody agreement. I noticed an old dusty piano sitting in the corner and dramatically clapped my hands, saying, Derek, honey, let's perform that duet we've been practicing for the talent show. Before he could say a word, I launched into the most over-the-top version of a romantic song you could imagine. Derek just stood there frozen, looking like he wanted the floor to swallow him whole. When I finished with a dramatic pose, one of the church ladies slowly started clapping. Then another joined, and suddenly all 5 of them were applauding like I had just performed on a world stage. The head church lady, with tears in her eyes, said, Young man, that was the most beautiful and touching performance I've ever seen. Then she turned to Derek and said, You must marry this talented boy before someone else takes him. Derek's mom instantly switched from shocked to excited and started planning our entire wedding right there. She pulled out her phone, talking about venues and flowers while I was still stuck in my final pose. But it got even worse. The church ladies loved it so much they invited me to perform at their Sunday service. One wanted me to sing with choreography. Another was already asking if I could perform at her granddaughter's party. Derek was panicking hard at this point. His mom was talking about catering menus, and one lady was asking me about ring sizes. Then Derek's little sister walked in from soccer practice, looked around at the chaos, and said loudly, Mom, he literally paid him $50 to pretend to be his boyfriend. She crossed her arms. I heard everything this morning. The silence that followed was unreal. Derek's mom slowly turned toward him with a look that could destroy planets. The church lady stared at me in complete shock. I was still standing there with my hands in the air like I hadn't realized the show was over. Finally, the head church lady cleared her throat and calmly said, Well, Derek, at least you have excellent taste in entertainment. Then she looked at me and asked, Are you available next month for my granddaughter's wedding? Derek ended up owing me another $100 because I performed at 4 more church events that month, including a funeral where I sang with dramatic hand movement.